Satya Baavni, Part 3, written by Sadhu Sadanand, English translation by Megha Sharma, narrated by Alisha Thariani. Post the realization of divine consciousness, the attainment within is wondrous and unparalleled by anything that can ever be experienced by the human body. The inner eye of the liberated one gets temporarily blinded by the glory of the divine light. All the past tendencies and habits settle down. This experience within is eternal and infinite. The seeker attains true liberation, and in the liberated state, he realizes the eternal and immortal divine essence within. Post the realization of the divine consciousness, the soul unifies with the ultimate reality. It merges with the divine in eternal samadhi, a domain of eternal bliss. The Jivatva. Jivatva is the state of life of the Jiv, the individual. Of the Jiv then dies, and only the eternal Paramatma continues to reside in the enlightened one's physical body. This body ceases to be just an ordinary body, but transforms into a temple of Paramatma. To be able to reach this liberated, realized state, the seeker needs no support apart from the grace and guidance of Sadguru. This journey within has to be undertaken alone. Once the liberated state is attained, the world and Paramatma merge into one, and the liberated one experiences the omnipresence of the Creator. Duality transcends to non-duality. All illusions fall away, leading to eternal, uninterrupted bliss. Let no difficulty or disturbance become an obstacle in your path of spiritual awakening. Let nothing deter you from your goal of realizing the divine within. Stay centered within, focused on your goal and on your devotion to Paramatma. Sadguru's grace leads to a true seeker experiencing detachment and dispassion, leading to eventual enlightenment. The enlightened one experiences equality and harmony with all. All duality transcends into non-duality, leading to everlasting bliss. He merges with the divine consciousness and experiences everlasting immortality, akin to tasting nectar. The realization of his true eternal divine self is the ultimate awakening that leads to everlasting joy and peace. For the enlightened one, the world and Paramatma no longer seem separate entities. He experiences the omnipresence of the Creator in the creation. Concepts of time, old, new, and all other illusions cease to exist for him. He witnesses the presence of divine in all and everything. The everlasting bliss that the liberated one experiences absorbs all fears, illusions, pain, or duality. He exists beyond all these worldly manifestations. There is no place that he finds deserted or fearful, and nowhere does he experience darkness or gloom, for the divine light illuminates him from within. He is now the spiritual guide for others on the path of spirituality. O seeker, let go all illusions and worldly attachments. Focus determinedly on your spiritual goal of realizing the divine within. With complete devotion and trust, surrender to the divine and do not keep piling on to the already overloaded pile of karma. Function with the sense of non-doer and carry out your responsibilities with a sense of detachment. Surrender your actions to Paramatma with the thought that it is He who does it all, for that would prevent the addition of further karma to your pile. May you realize and recognize your true divine self and transcend to divine consciousness. This spiritual journey of the seeker to attain his God has no place for ego arrogance or for duality. Ego arrogance is a huge roadblock for a seeker, for where there is ego present, divine shall be absent. Paramatma makes his presence known only to those who have surrendered their ego arrogance and have moved beyond me and mine. Loss of ego arrogance leads to the beginning of the experience of divinity. the final destination of which is transcendence beyond this ocean of worldly material existence. Attachment and dispute is but the nature of man, and he continues to stay entrapped in the same. However, once the spiritual journey takes off, all attachments and illusions begin to fall away. The seeker then experiences harmony and compassion towards everyone, whether they be his loved ones or strangers. He continues to live and function in this world but stays detached with it. With devotion and determination, he needs to continue to stay centered within to eventually attain Paramatma. A seeker has to discover his own true divine self on his own. No one can do it for him. This journey has to be traversed alone on one's own. Sadhguru's guidance makes it possible. It is with his grace only that all illusions begin to lose their grip on the seeker. The seeker begins to understand and comprehend the real, impermanent existence of all the worldly joys and despairs that used to earlier bother him and affect him. They cease to do so anymore as he continues to move towards his spiritual goal. To realize the divine consciousness within is an achievement that a seeker needs to accomplish on his own, and this accomplishment is indeed possible under Sadhguru's grace and guidance. Post realization, the liberated one moves beyond all definitions specified by the world. They cease to hold relevance for him. He is neither an intellectual nor a hermit, for he himself is the residence of the divine. Excessive intellectualism or intelligence is also a roadblock in spiritual practice of a seeker. Similarly, if meditation and chants itself end up becoming a reason for ego arrogance, then the seeker will not be able to discover Paramatma. They are then useless. The liberated one is beyond these practices. He continues to live in the world, but the world doesn't live or thrive in him. He stays centered within his divine consciousness. In this human body that is akin to a house reside arrogance, ego attachments, discriminations, and negative attitudes. Driven by his mind, intellect, ego, man stays trapped in his karma cycle across lifetimes, unable to proceed to discover his divine self. Where arrogance resides, Paramatma does not take a precedence. It is only when the seeker empties out all ego arrogance and his obsession with I and mine that Paramatma appears within. This stage of divine realization is the ultimate goal of spirituality. Then, henceforth, the body of the liberated one is akin to a temple, for God Himself resides within.